Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. In today's video, I wanted to go over an awesome modifier and a great tool that I use all the time to speed up my workflow processes, especially with more complex shapes that involves having a lot of different objects or a lot of the same objects just kind of scattered around in a directional manner. So not only can you take the array modifier and use it to pretty much arrange a set of the same mesh depending on which direction you're going to go, but I'm also going to show you this great tool. Now we're in Unreal Engine and this is the level that I've put together so far. And the thing that I want to show you is how I created this industrial fan, specifically the fan blades, and also what I did with the nuts and bolts that are going around it. I also used the same modifier as well. It can save you on texture space just because you can use overlapping UVs if you have objects that are pretty much the same thing or they're out of the view or anything like that, and that can help that out as well. All right, back into Blender. This is the same exact mesh that you just seen in Unreal Engine. I'm gonna take off these grates just so that we can kind of see what we're doing and not just hide them like I just did. After looking at your same object from different angles for absolutely no reason, we can get started by simply just selecting one of those edges, duplicating it, and then setting it on its own, extrude it out, kind of make like a fan blade design if you need. So if you want to subdivide it, you can. I personally didn't want to subdivide it just because this is a game object, so you want to keep your face counts kind of low, especially on smaller objects like this. So just kind of mess around with it. It's kind of like a rough shape that I'm going off of. All right, once we're happy with the model that we've created for the blade, I just kind of went real quick. I didn't want to make anything too complex, just kind of want to give you the idea of it. We're going to select the center origin point, which is right here. We're going to press Shift S. We're going to set the 3D cursor on top of it. Also, we're going to add in an empty right on top of that 3D cursor. It could be any empty. I'm just using the simple axis. Make sure the simple axis has the 3D cursor as the world origin, and same for the fan blade. And you can see the operations that I'm doing right there in case you're wondering how you could do that. Now we're gonna set our array modifier. We are not going on a constant offset. Instead, what we're gonna be doing is going on an object offset. So make sure you have it on 0. Now select object offset and select your color picker and pick the empty axis. Make sure it's the empty that you're picking. Now, once you select your empty and you rotate it, and you can simply do that with the toolbar by pressing N. We're going to rotate it on the X axis. Feel free to mess around with this, get whatever degree that you need to. And then we're going to set the number of iterations that we want back in the array modifier once we select the blades again. And you can pick as many of them as you want, and it'll set it up. After that, we're pretty much done. We've created our model. Now, the next thing I want to show you is how you can save a lot of your texture space by simply putting overlapping UVs on top of each other, because essentially it is just the same fan blade rotated, and a lot of times you might have a grate in front of it to block it off, so you might not be able to see it as well. same exact approach I took with the blades that you've seen in the scene in the Unreal Engine. Simply selected the faces, extruded them, kind of made a fan blade shape out of them. Now, going back into our fan blades, we're going to pull up our UVs by making sure that we have our live unwrap selected. We're going to set the outer edges as our seam, just because it is a plane. And then we're going to mark our seams. Now, as you can see here, we have the one texture island. Once we apply our array, we still have the one, but it is actually overlapping on top of all the other objects that you see in the scene as well. So this will save on texture space in case you have more materials or objects that are a part of this fan blade. I separated them just because in Unreal Engine it will make it a little bit easier for them to rotate and animate that. But that being said, that just about covers it. Thank you guys for watching, and tune in for the next one.